morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk, finally we need to talk about Galarian Rapidash. We've never talked about Galarian Rapidash before. We've never had a Galarian Rapidash card to be talking about. Well, great news, ladies and gentlemen, because now we totally do. Yay, etc. And this one's good. This one's really good. Our translation today is a mixture of me using Google Translate and the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net, which is a phenomenal Pokemon fan site. And if you're not using Cerebi on a regular basis, I am stuck with the glaring question, why not? Now, starting off, it's got 100 HP, which is kind of low for a stage 1. Not cripplingly low, but lower than we might otherwise like. We've then got a weakness to darkness. Remember that fairy Pokemon change their weakness with Sword and Shield. They used to be weak to Psychic. They are now weak to darkness, so make sure you remember that one. We've got a retreat cost of 1, which is easily retreated with stuff like U-turn board, so that's kind of nice. And we got a resistance to fighting like all Psychic Pokemon do at the moment. Resistance is always good. Being a Psychic Pokemon gives you access to Spell Tag. If you are KO'd, you get to do a bit of extra damage, and it means you can use stuff like Mysterious Treasure to search you out. You can even, if you're feeling a little bit tricksy, you can even have a little bit of a go with Morty. Nice bit of hand disruption after a KO, if that's what you're into. No judgment if you don't want to use Morty. Alrighty then. But what does it actually do? Well, really here. No, I'm lying to you. Both of these things are good. But the thing that caught my eye initially was the ability. Pastel Veil. Your Pokemon cannot be affected by special conditions. Remove any existing special conditions. It makes all of your Pokemon immune to all special conditions. Poison, sleep, paralysis, confusion, burn, boom, all gone. Any confusion, burn, probably not. No paralysis, all of it gone. If one of your Pokemon is paralyzed and you evolve up into Galarian Rapidash, that paralysis is immediately removed, ladies and gentlemen. It's rather wonderful indeed. And look, this isn't some unique ability. It's not like we've never had anything in the past which will remove special conditions. Back in Guardians Rising, we got Comfy, which said that each of your Pokemon with any fairy energy attached cannot be affected by any special conditions. Remove any special conditions affecting those Pokemon. And of course, let's not forget that more recently than that, and still in the format, not yet rotated, we've got the Galarian GX that came out in Team Up. Each of your Pokemon that has any metal energy attached cannot be affected by any special conditions. Remove any special conditions affecting those Pokemon. And the thing is that they were not just for metal decks or fairy decks, because of course you could use Rainbow Energy, and Rainbow Energy with Galarian would remove any special conditions and prevent any on all of your Pokemon. We've actually seen this being played in Mewtwo and Mew decks as early as the World Championships, where Mewtwo and Mew became legal, where people would literally play it with Rainbow Energy and Galarian, such that they would be immune to any special conditions. And there's stuff like Raichu and Alolan Raichu, which admittedly, Lightning decks since the release of Cosmic Eclipse do seem to really be taking a hit in playability, but that has come around for a while. The thing that Galarian Rapidash has on everything I've just mentioned is that it's just a permanent, static ability. You don't need to attach any kind of energy. The thing is, even something like Galarian, you would have to have a metal energy on all of your Pokemon to make all of them immune to special conditions. That is not the case here. As long as it's on the board, you're good. As long as Galarian Rapidash is on your field, it doesn't need to be active, just needs to be on the field, you don't have any special conditions on any of your Pokemon. This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely huge. Now, at the moment, we're not in a great format for special conditions, but one of the things we need to remember is that we lost Guzma and Ace Roller to the last rotation. Now, to be fair, it's being slightly mitigated because Mallow and Lana's out now, and that is a switch and heals 120, so some decks can take advantage of Mallow and Lana. But the point is, we all used to play 3 or 4 Guzma along with a number of Ace Roller, which meant we had a lot of options for getting our Pokemon out of the active. And when you get them out of the active, you get rid of all of them. There are special conditions. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's not an option. We don't have those cards. So unless you're playing a bunch of switching cards, and look, maybe you're playing something like a skateboard, and that will allow you to retreat with paralysis or sleep. But even then, it only allows you to retreat. It does not function as a switch, it just allows you to retreat. So if you've got a big, high retreat cost Pokemon, let's use Wailord as an example because I love me some Wailord, and then your opponent paralyzes you, you can't just go, oh, I've got an skateboard. That don't work. You need something like this. This is where you are. Now, okay, you might not be able to get out of the active, but you can just attack. And one thing that is kind of funny here is that you could always just use this in a Jirachi deck so that you don't go to sleep when you use the ability, and you can retreat with a U-turn board, just as an example. Even if we're not in a big special conditions format at the moment, you never know when we will be in the future. A little while ago, we had a big influx of electric decks that would all of a sudden use Dynamo to try and paralyze your opponent turn after turn after turn, giving you time to set up. We've seen recently that Raichu and Alolan Raichu has been pretty gosh darn big. I have seen some Muck and Alolan Muck decks running around, and we did not that long ago see a lovely German player, Carl Peters, go and win a fairly large tournament, I think it was a special event, using a poison deck with stuff like Poison, Barb and Survivor. My point is, we never know when special conditions are going to be coming around again. This has got your back. It's brilliant. And there's actually a really good attack here as well. 1 Psychic, 1 Colorless Energy, and you get to do a base 30 damage with 30 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It's really quite nice. Now, it's not quite as high as in DDV, for instance. That was one of the ones that we did see, one of the Vs that was revealed in English, which is 10 damage base plus 60. Even with 1 energy, Galarian Rapidash does 60, Indeedee does 70, and then it only gets worse from there. But Indeedee V takes an extra energy and is a 2-prize Pokemon, so this is alright. And remember, at the moment, we're in an age of tag team Pokemon. Something like Reshiram and Charizard, or Pikachu and Zekrom, they're cards that really want 6 energy on. That's when their GX attacks get really good, when they've got 6 energy on. Well, with 6 energy, that's 6 times 30 is 180, add to 30 base is 210. And alright, 210 isn't actually enough to KO either of them, but it's 210 on a single prize Pokemon for 2 energy against a free prize Pokemon with 6 energy on. In terms of the prize race, in terms of the amount of resources being used, you are very, very much in the lead there. I don't think this is some kind of phenomenal attack. I don't think this is going to be an attack which changes the game. But I do think it's a good attack. And I do think it's a useful attack. It's pretty much exactly the same as the attack that we saw on the Oranguru. Although, to be fair, that was for 3 energy rather than 2. And it was 60 base plus 20 rather than 30 base plus 30, which means initially better and then gets worse and worse. But that Oranguru was used for the ability that let you draw more cards, and the attack was a handy bonus. Galarian Rapidash is going to be used for the ability that turns off special conditions, and then this is going to be a handy bonus. It's going to be fun. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. No, scratch that. Between 4 and 5 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. You see, Galarian Rapidash is an extremely annoying card in terms of trying to figure out exactly how good it is. Because the actual answer is nobody knows. Because it depends on the format. In a special conditions heavy format, this becomes an absolutely phenomenal, vital card. In a format where no one's playing special conditions, I don't think the attack makes it good enough to play if you're not using the ability. Oh, no special conditions, no ability. It's a kind of card you really need to have, because you never know what's going to come around. It's a kind of card that can win you entire matchups. And in a format where we've got a huge amount of special condition decks, it is a card that wins your tournaments. Or I suppose it might be more correct to say prevents you from losing tournaments. Either way, I think it's a lot of fun. But I'd like to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in but are an awful lot of fun. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.